The good times are over. Talks of bringing America back and healing it have been washed off by the storm that the Biden presidency is. If elections are held today, Joe Biden will lose so humiliatingly that even the Democrats will abandon him and his partner, Kamala Harris. Joe Biden's approval ratings are now spiraling downwards beyond redemption. The United States' abject surrender to the Taliban is beginning to show results. Biden's mishandling of the COVID-19 situation in the country is only adding to his woes. And then there is the woke pandemic that the Biden presidency has brought along with it. All of these factors and many more are contributing to Joe Biden's approval ratings going into a free fall. And Trump can now make the best of this opportunity to stage a comeback in 2024. Hi and welcome. This is TFI Global, the foreign affairs and geopolitical analysis arm of the TFI Media Group. I am the group founder Atul Mishra in all his Indian splendor. In this video, I will tell you how Joe Biden's approval ratings are falling, and if elections are held today in the United States, Trump will beat Biden by a huge margin. Let's begin. It is happening. The people of America are realizing that the disaster of a president that has made his way into the White House and who is now making life miserable, not just for the people in the United States, but across the world, given the backdrop in which his administration is desperately evacuating from Afghanistan after surrendering to the Taliban. President Joe Biden's approval ratings have gone down to the lowest in his presidency so far. And it has just been 6 months for the man in the office, notwithstanding his and the Democrats' brazen propaganda to show that America is back and it is healing. The people of America have begun seeing right through the charade. In fact, if voting took place in the US today, Donald Trump would win with a huge, undisputed margin against the Biden-Harris duo. The president began the month with an average job approval rating of 51.5%, down from 54% at the start of May. Now, according to USA Today, after the botched up withdrawal from Afghanistan, that dip has spiraled down further. His overall job approval rating now stands at 41%, who approve, plummeting from the usual 50% plus. Meanwhile, 55% disapprove, which is a big drop in the closely watched barometer of political health. Interestingly, the steep fall in Biden's approval ratings across the United States is driven largely by his administration's catastrophic handling of the Afghanistan withdrawal, which is really snowballed now into a desperate evacuation campaign. However, what is also massively hurting Joe Biden's approval ratings are the number of COVID-19 infections across the country and the massive number of Americans who are now struggling at the intensive care unit wards. The Rasmussen numbers shine a new light on just how poorly Joe Biden has performed in his first few months as the President of the United States. Just 37% of voters say they would vote for Biden today, while 13% of Democrats say they would vote for Trump today. Moderate voters' support for Biden has plummeted 13 points, while Trump has gained. Meanwhile, 11% of 18 to 39-year-olds regret their 2020 vote. In what comes as a shocker for the Democrats, 14% of black Americans regret their 2020 vote. 9% of Democrats regret their 2020 vote, while 12% of moderates regret their 2020 vote in favor of Biden. With the midterm polls a year away, the Democrats and the Biden administration have been given a reality check. And the numbers which have now come out suggest that it would not be extremely difficult for the Republicans to win handsomely. What would also be worrying the Democrats is the fact that among their own constituents, support is largely dipping. This complemented with the fact that the Republican voters would be consolidating their backing for the Grand Old Party could spell doom for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris real soon. Meanwhile, just 25% of voters said they approved of Biden's handling of the situation in Afghanistan. Americans are realizing that Joe Biden has spelled a disaster for the United States in the first 6 months of his presidency. Donald Trump, meanwhile, is making full use of the catastrophe that Joe Biden has unleashed on the United States and is attacking the Biden administration for its callous handling of the Afghanistan withdrawal. According to Trump, Biden has embarrassed the United States more than any other president in history, surpassing fellow Democrat Jimmy Carter's 1979 Iran hostage crisis. He said that it was a terrible time for the country and that it is not just a military defeat or a psychological defeat. There has never been anything like what's happened here. Joe Biden is not even being able to evacuate American citizens from Afghanistan, leave alone the thousands of Afghan citizens who helped the United States and its allies during the 20-year-long inconsequential war in Afghanistan. Make no mistake, every American wanted the country to withdraw from Afghanistan. But the sheer incompetence of the Biden administration to deal with the withdrawal has shocked the people of the country. Meanwhile, America's allies are infuriated. France, Germany, Britain, India, Japan, and others are all shocked to see the manner in which they were kept out of the loop by Biden and how they have all been left in the lurch. Meanwhile, as explained by TFI, Joe Biden is most probably paying ransom to the Taliban to ensure that the evacuation campaign is not hijacked by the violent extremist organization. The fall in approval ratings of Joe Biden means that if Donald Trump were to contest elections today, he would win hands down. With 3.5 years of Biden's presidency still left, Trump's position until 2024 is only expected to be strengthened further, leading to the ouster of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris from the White House. Most importantly, the Republicans look poised to win the upcoming midterm polls, leading to the majority in both the Senate as well as the House of Representatives.